Hey folks, Sebastian here, Wheatworks Pro, ShowMeThat.com. And this year we decided to take you on a tour of the Namm show. We've been attending this show for almost 20 years, and as you can see, it's not open to the public. But we want to allow you to come in and see some of the cool new technology. There are thousands of manufacturers and musicians from all over the world. Every musical creation that you can think of is at this show. There are some things that you only see at the show and never make it to the marketplace. But it's a great place to see and play with all the new toys. I think every musician looks at Namm like Christmas Day. We're going to be talking with different musicians and going to different booths and doing interviews. This is just day one. There is so much to see and so much to do at this show. We can't do it all in one day. So I want you folks to come along and enjoy and just take in the Namm show. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Okay, this is the evolution of the motif after 15 years of being at the top of the heap. Our engineers took some time and decided to break open what used to be voice mode and give you a synthesizer where you have unlimited control. So it's 128 notes of stereo polyphony, which is twice what the motif was. It took two elements to make a stereo waveform in the motif. Now you can build you have 128 notes of stereo polyphony, and in addition you have the 128 notes of FMX, which is Yamaha style DX FM with 8 operators, 88 algorithms, and filtering and spectral forms and so forth. So much expanded. And one of the real keys here is the pure analog circuit that we have on the output. In other words, you'll see that the sound just seems to jump out of the box. And that's a good thing. So, looking at the Rhodes, for example, you have 8 scenes. And then, like in our digital mixers, the scene is a snapshot of all the settings. So imagine that each playable entity here can have as many as 64 oscillators. Now, you may think, oh, I could layer 64 oscillators, but that's not how you're really going to use them. The way you're going to use them is to get different articulations, and that's the name of the game. Now, we introduced articulations with the motif XS, and this is much expanded. And articulation is really about changing how the instrument plays in response to you hitting it. So it could be as simple as a harmonic on a guitar, or a hammer-on, or a slide, or it could be a shake on a brass, or it could be a squeak on a horn. It's up to you what you do with the articulation. A quick bow stroke as opposed to a slow arco stroke. So you design. Assigning controllers is very simple, although very deep. And there are 2 levels of working with Montage. Those who will snorkel, swim on the surface, and combine sounds and have a lot of fun. But if you're one of those people who like to dig in and you want to scuba dive, get your gear out because it's never been this deep. If you had an analog kind of comparison, you used to take a room full of modules. You'd get another oscillator, another envelope generator, another filter. So imagine having 64 oscillators, 64 filters, 64 filter envelope generators, 64 amplifiers, 64 amplifier envelope generators, 64 pitch controls. I mean, just keep going and going. Each individually routable, so each one of these 8 playable sounds is a motif. So truly, this is 8 times that. And we're very interested to see how people interact with this because it's a familiar interface, and at the same time, it's much more that you can do. The super knob and motion control sequencing is what this is all about. The super knob basically is a knob, one knob to rule all of those parameters. So you can assign the super knob. It goes from 0 to 127. But what it does to the different sounds is up to you. You may want to fade one in while another one fades out, and while another one pans to the left and another one pans to the right, or effects could increase. Modulation sources can be anything. Could be an external device. You could plug your drummer's kick and snare mic into it, and it could gate the sounds in the montage. So it's really an idea machine. You have side chain compression, side chain ring modulation, side chain arpeggios. Anything can modulate anything else. And while we're talking about modulation, of course, FM, this is Yamaha style FM on very much the hippest engine that it's ever had. So this keyboard will come out of the gate with total compatibility with the complete 15-year motif series history, from the ES on. There are probably over 10,000 usable FM sounds in the DX library. Now, we say they're usable. Nobody's really counted them all, but there is a long history of FM. And FM jumps out of the box here. Now, here's a familiar sound from the DX days, FM Brass Ensemble. But you've never heard it like this. Yeah, so very playable, very musical, the montage. There's one in your future.